Hello, friends, and welcome to another Pauper League. I am Cooper the Red, and this is Orzhov Ephemerate. So this is a deck that has been around for a little while now, and I've been pretty excited to play it. We actually played against it fairly recently, and I ended up taking the deck list of that opponent in order to play it ourselves. So this is a deck that has some really interesting lines. We're able to cast our creatures, which are all going to be accruing value all by themselves. And then we're going to be able to take advantage of their enter the battlefield effects thanks to Ephemerate. We're running a full 4 copies of this instant, and that's going to allow us to exile and return, Thraben Inspector, Dawnbringer Cleric, Core Skyfisher, Spirited Companion, Inspiring Overseer, Goliath Paladin, and Vampire Sovereign. All of our creatures are going to have excellent effects when they're ephemerated. So, depending on what the situation is, Ephemerate is a very useful spell, especially if we're responding to a removal spell, allowing us to basically fizzle the removal and gain the value from our creature. And alternatively, we are going to have to watch out for the inverse effect if we're trying to cast an ephemerate. We don't want our opponent responding to that with a removal spell. So coming in at the bottom end of our creatures, we have our turn one play, Thraben Inspector. This has been an excellent card, an excellent choice for 1 drops ever since it's been printed. Played this thing in standard, and it has just been a mainstay in white pauper creatures ever since then. We've got 1 copy of Omen of the Dead. This card here is actually really powerful when combined with Core Skyfisher, allowing us to return it to our hand, replay it, maybe returning another Core Skyfisher from our graveyard to our hand, allowing us to, continuously just buy it back and replay it, buy it back and replay it. It can make some really huge value plays. We've got 2 copies of Dawnbringer Cleric. This card here has a lot of flexibility depending on what we're playing against. At the very worst, it's going to be a 1/3 for 2 mana that gains 2 life, and against Burn, that's going to be pretty good. But we can also use it to do other things, including destroying an enchantment, which would be great against Bogles, or even exiling a card from a graveyard, which can be useful against several different decks. Whether it's just Demir Terror, maybe we're increasing the mana cost of their terror by 1, or maybe we're playing against some other kind of fringe deck, and we're able to actually remove important cards from a graveyard. Imagine we're playing against Mogwarts, and they cast an Unearth, and we respond by ephemerating the Dawnbringer Cleric. That could just end the game right there. We briefly spoke about Core Skyfisher. This card is pretty excellent. 2 mana for a 2/3 flyer. Obviously, that's a very good. It has the downside of returning a permanent that we control from the battlefield to our hand when it enters the battlefield. But there are definitely some instances where that is going to be advantageous. For example, returning the Omen of the Dead, or we could also return, like Spirited Companion to draw a card. Thraben Inspector is going to be an easy one to return. And then something else we can actually do is we can return a land. If we haven't played a land yet, we could return a plains or a swamp, and then play it untapped to kind of like gain a little bit of mana that way. Or we could return like a Bajuka Bog and then regain its spell like effect. We've got 4 Spirited Companions. This is going to be like one of the draw cards effects that we have. Very cheap on mana, so 2 mana gets us a blocker, draws us a card, and then it also gives us a target for Ephemerate. We've got 4 Cast Down, one of the best removal options in the format. This kills almost everything. While there do exist a couple of there do exist a couple of legendary creatures in the format, nobody plays them. So basically, the only thing this isn't going to be hitting are cards with protection from black, or protection from mono-colored. We've got one copy of Chainer's Edict in the main and another one in the side. This is fantastic for getting rid of Bogles, getting rid of Guardian of the Guild Pact, or just, like casting it straight up and getting rid of one of their big creatures. And then also, like it has flashback, and in this deck, we can reasonably expect to be able to flash it back. So that means it's two removal spells in one card, and that's pretty good. We've got four copies of Inspiring Overseer, and this is our slightly better Spirited Companion for one extra mana. It flies, it gains life, it has more power, so if we can ephemerate this one, that's a little bit better. And yeah, this is also going to be one of our ways to get some damage in. We are going to be a very slow deck. I am expecting for our leagues today to be definitely on the long side. Hopefully we won't go to time today. We've got two copies of Suffocating Fumes. This is going to be very useful against any kind of Kuldotha deck. I have found that red decks are starting to move away from Kuldotha a little bit, but Suffocating Fumes, even in the worst case, is never a dead card. We will be able to cycle it if we can't find any use for it, but it can also function as a combat trick. It is an instant. So if we're blocking or attacking and the opponent thinks that they've got, like some good combat coming on, Suffocating Fumes can turn that around really quick. We've got two copies of Unmake. This is an interesting card in this deck in particular because it has access to the white and the black mana, so we aren't stuck trying to cast it for triple white or triple black. We can mix and match, and then this card also, is another instant that is actually able to target and kill Guardian of the Guild Pact. So it's pretty rare to find cards that can do that. While Guardian of the Guild Pact isn't as much of a threat as it was when I had stopped playing, it is still a card that exists. So Unmake is an option that can get rid of almost everything. We've got four copies of Goliath Paladin at the top end, along with the three copies of Vampire Sovereign. So Goliath Paladin is going to be giving us the initiative, and then also with the way the initiative works, it's going to function very, very well with Ephemerate, since taking the initiative additional times allows us to traverse through the dungeon. This is also just, like a really, really solid creature, difficult to take off the board with damage, and pretty good with attacks since it does have vigilance. Finally, Vampire Sovereign. Um, Pretty high on the mana cost here at 5 mana, but, it has an excellent enter the battlefield effect, especially if we're against a deck that really cares about life totals. So it's a 6 life swing, similar to Lightning Helix. And again, when we're able to ephemerate this thing, watch out. That's another 6 life swing for 1 mana. And then if we can rebound on the Sovereign, that's a lot of damage. As far as the lands go, we've got 9 basics, 3 swamps, 6 plains. We are mostly focused on white here, especially in the early game, so we want to get those untapped white sources. We've got 4 Scoured Barrens, getting us both of our colored mana and gaining us a life, which is actually relevant in this format, especially with how popular Burn is. We've got 4 copies of the nice Orzhov Basilica, which is going to allow us to bounce our Bajuka Bog, bounce our Scoured Barrens, to regain the spell effect or to gain a little bit more life. We can also just bounce a Plains or a Swamp, which is going to be able to come back into play untapped on the next turn. And then we also have 3 copies of Obscura Storefront. We found that these lands are a little bit better than the classic fetch lands that existed in Pauper before. While we don't have the choice of when to crack them, we're going to sacrifice them as soon as they enter the battlefield. The advantage is they gain us a life. So as long as we're only running, like plains, islands, or swamps, and we're running plains and swamps. So as long as we're only running those two, then this is going to be better. So as far as the sideboard goes, we've got 3 copies of Relic of Progenitus. Now that is kind of interesting because we are definitely running some cards that care about our own graveyard. We have Chainer's Edict, we have Omen of the Dead, but Relic of Virginitas is the better option versus Dimir Terror since we're able to tap it and take cards out of the opponent's graveyard turn by turn, um, kind of stifling their mana in that way. So we are going with the Relic of Virginitas. We've got one copy of Arms of Adar. If Suffocating Fumes just isn't doing enough, and we need to, when one won't do, well, we've got Arms of Adar for one extra mana, which is going to take one extra power and toughness away from our opponent's creatures. We've got the second copy of Chainer's Edict. We've also got 4 copies of Dust to Dust. This card should be no surprise. We are playing Plains, so if you're playing Plains, you're probably playing 4 Dust to Dust. Affinity is still one of the best decks in the format, even after all the bannings. So we're running a full 4 of to try to exile the affinity player's lands, or what have you. It can definitely be used as a removal spell as well. And if a creature is exiled with Dust to Dust, it is not coming back with Blood Fountain. We've also got one copy of Revoke Existence because 4 Dust to Dust is not enough. We can throw in Revoke Existence as number 5, 2 mana to exile an artifact, and we can also use this against Bogles or any other deck that we really care about their enchantments. We could potentially exile a Makeshift Munitions, for instance. We've got 2 copies of Lone Missionary. This is mostly going to be used versus the burn matchup. 2 mana to gain 4 life, and it leaves a body behind, which is going to be perfect with Ephemerate. We've got 2 more copies of Dawnbringer Cleric. Again, this is going to be good versus burn, but it will also be good versus Bogles, allowing us to get rid of an aura and then ephemerate it to get rid of another aura. And finally, we have 1 copy of Honorable Scout because all those cards wasn't quite enough versus the red decks. We're going to bring this in and hopefully be able to gain large amounts of life for 1 mana, and with a leftover creature, why not? All right, let's get into the magic. Okay, well, this hand is, snap keep, obviously. Oops, my hand slipped. What are we going to do? Oh, man, we're getting some ugly starting hands. Karoo land as a 1-land hand is not what you want to see. We're going to have to mulligan this as well. Okay, this is a hand we can keep. Get rid of this and this. All right, what do we see? What do we see? Is it Basic Mountain or is it something else? I think that's a different cookie. Pretty sure that's a different cookie. Looks like this might actually be a mirror match. Yeah, yeah, C is for cookie. Exactly. He was in the water. Hello, hello. Let's start with Scoured Barrens. Pass back. C is for cookie, and that's good enough for me. Okay, we draw Plains. Not bad, not bad. So we can start with Spirited Companion, and then turn 3, we can play Thraben Inspector, Hold Up, Crack, Clue, or Cast Down. Okay, pretty set for lands. Okay, so they're playing Defile, which leads me to believe they're mostly black deck. This might actually be, yes, it is. This is mono black control. Um, Really kind of like mono black devotion, but what are you going to do? Obscure Storefront is definitely interesting here as a way to gain a little bit of life. Yeah, no kidding. Arms of Adar is going to be wicked in this matchup. Kind of wish we still had Pestilence in these decks. Sign in Blood. Yep. I think we're just going to crack the clue here. Good question, Torpor Orb. I think that it's just kind of a hedge against burn. But the matchup is so bad that I wouldn't even bother playing. I mean, first off, I wouldn't bother playing the deck, but some people just can't be told that the deck is bad. Oh, Stream Team. Gurmag Angler. That's a great point. Did not think of that. Fortunately, we have the cast down for the big fish. I guess because of the way I tapped, I'm not going to be able to hold up Ephemerate here. We'll just play the Obscura Storefront. It's fine. Yeah, right? Chainer's Edict. Bye-bye Thraben Inspector. I guess. I mean, the Ash Baron doesn't gain you the life. Guess Verdict, sure. Ephemerate wasn't going to help us there anyway. Do we gain the life or take a card? We gain the life. Oh, yeah, good point. I was thinking about holding that in case we want to cast down a Gurmag Angler. Oh, yeah, duh. Now, that should have been, yep. First game of the day. We'll do better. Just, like, it's fine. We got a Bajuka Bog coming up anyways. Let's take a land out of the deck here. There are definitely some tasty targets for Ephemerate. But are they as tasty as the white options? And why play one when you could play both? We have the Vampire and the Goliath. They only have one card left in hand, but we are top deck in here. We need some good stuff off the top here for sure. But then, like the question is that better than what we're playing right now? Because, yeah, there's definitely some really cool effects that you can flicker in black, but are they better than what you can do in white? You could ask your opponent to put a card back, which is good if they have cards left in their hand, or you could draw a card and gain a life and have a flyer. Exactly, Torpor Orb. Just play Gardens. Play Black Garden. You'll be much better off. Okay, taking some damage, and we're not drawing anything, just lands. We'll gain a life, take another land out of the deck. If maybe we could draw some good cards here, that would be nice. Definitely thinking about bouncing the Scoured Barons just to gain that one extra life, gain us an extra turn on the clock, depending on their subsequent plays. Witches is a pain. That can actually kill a lot of our creatures. Double Witches. Yeah, I'd say we're too far behind at this point. Probably just going to lose. Come on, deck. That's pathetic. Well, what can you do? Mull to 5 and flood it out. Yes, that is exactly what we're doing. All lands. I think we're supposed to have a good matchup here, but what can you do when your deck doesn't cooperate? I'm not super happy about this one, but we're going to keep it. Relic. Oh, right on time. Thraben Inspector. That's fine. It'll be good next turn where we can play and crack the clue immediately. There's the Arms of Adar. It doesn't do very good against witches. And witches cleanly kill my companion. Well, pretty clean. They'll have to take a damage for it. Yeah, the relic against us, not a great option. It does turn off a couple of things, but yeah, I feel like that's overboarding for sure. Like it can hit our Chainer's Edicts, it can hit so that we can't Omen of the Dead. But yeah, it doesn't seem very good. No chittering rats. Find another land. And another companion. Let's let's play companion. Handsome, good morning. I think we're gonna play the Scoured Barons here. I kind of want our opponent to play into the Arms of Adar, try and get a 2-for-1. Maybe I should have just played that. Or maybe I'm waiting. Put the damage on them. We could put it on the Phyrexian Rager so then they can't really attack. That is definitely another option. Okay. Arms of Adar starting to look good. Another Relic of Progenitus. I think it might be time to go for the Arms of Adar right now. To go for Arms of Adar Thraben Inspector. Um, this gets us the 2-for-1, and it takes 2 pips off the board so that if they slam 5 mana next turn, their Grey Merchant isn't that impressive. Oh, because I was afraid of a Grey Merchant coming down and draining a whole bunch. Another Witch. Obscure Storefront. And a pass. Well, we can't really attack into that right now, but we do have our Sovereign. We could play the Plains to bluff an Ephemerate here. Yeah, it would be nice to have the backup, but we can bluff it. We can't. We cannot keep this one up. Cost double black for the Vampire Sovereign. Hunt count just for stream team. This is going after our life totals. Yeah, we'll put it after theirs. That's really aggressive, but they probably have a gray merchant to slam right now. Yeah. So that's a big swing. Unmake. Not bad. Gain a life, get a planes out of the deck. Yeah, if you just hold down block the whole time, the opponent can't do anything. There's definitely no way to take advantage of that. Oh, they're going to kill one of my Thraben inspectors with this. Sure, I guess we'll just target you. Not a fan of the Moto client, huh? That's okay. Playing Pauper on Moto would be pretty different. I mean, with the countdown timer they have, the fuse, be definitely tricky for some things. We'll just take the 2. I want to crack this clue token. Ooh, nice. Another unmake. I mean, it's absolutely an old program, but you know, it does what it does. It works. We're going to get a planes here and then just immediately play it. So we have unmake up. I guess we could get a swamp. That's fine. When it comes to unmake, they're the same. Ooh, sacrifice a creature. Don't want to sacrifice the sovereign. If I can help it. Get rid of the blocker. What bugs? What bugs exist on Moto? I can't think of any. Chain lightning. Oh, that one was fixed. What about the wall of roots? That one's got to be fixed by now, right? Wall of roots. Yep, you can absolutely still do that, handsome. All right, they're going to take the initiative here. First level of initiative is not a really big deal here. They're just going to get a land. Bug with Wall of Roots. So Wall of Roots does not work like a mana ability. So if you are trying to convoke or whatever, oh shit. Okay, they don't have enough to clear the board yet, so we're gonna be able to take the initiative back. Phew. Yeah, if you're trying to convoke with it, you have to put the counter onto the Wall of Roots before you cast the spell with convoke, and then if it has 5 counters on it, it will die. Whereas you should be able to make 2 mana with Wall of Roots on your convoke cards. Let's forge the Goliath Paladin, I guess. I mean, they're at 3 life. If they try and use Pestilence, they die. Another Paladin? I guess we could just trap them and end the game right here. And we've still got well over 12 minutes for game 3. Yeah, Kenny, if you got the points for opening a treasure chest, now's a great time. Oh, that's what you meant. Chests are bugged right now? Kenny, what's going on with the treasure chests? I'm going to have to remove that as an option. Viewer rewards, channel points. Unless this is like an epic troll. Turn off open chests. Well, we'll just turn that off for now to be on the safe side, and we'll re-enable it when it's when for sure the bug is fixed. I don't want to go through the hassle of trying to return somebody's channel points. Oh, it lets me go right up to the thing where I'm just going to say if I want to open them, but anyway, no worries. Let's head back into the game and see if we can take game 3. We've got the superior deck, but will we have the superior draws? Just moto things. Corrupt. That would be awesome. If we were killed by corrupt, I would not even be mad. I know, I used to play that deck. I played mono black control before it was a devotion deck. We also had this sweet 4 mana removal spell. I think it was called Tendrils of Corruption. Do damage, or is it minus minus? What was Tendrils of Corruption? It's been a long time. X damage. I'm going to take the land out of my deck because I want the white mana. It would have been nice to play Bajuka Bog here, but I want more white available for the Ephemerate. I have not played that card. I wanted to. I wanted to make it work, but I never could. Debt to the Kami, no problem. Another no land draw. Guess we'll play a companion here, see what we draw. Oh, we find the land. Beautiful. So I can play that and return planes. And then I'll have an untapped land for later. Oh, there it is. There's the card. Tendrils of Corruption. The very card that we were talking about. Brought it into being. So I want to have 5 mana available for next turn. So I want to play the Bajuka Bog this turn, which means I could play Thraben Inspector, hold up Clue, hold up Crack Clue, or I could play Thraben Inspector, Dawnbringer Cleric, gain 2 life. I'm going to put down more creatures, more blockers, more options for sacrifice. That way, hopefully that Goliath Paladin I play next turn can stick around for a while. And that is the power of the Karoo lands. I was suffering for land drops, and the Karoo was basically 2 lands in 1, allowing me to return one of my lands to hand, get that extra land drop. All right, no critter, no critter, no critter. Nice. Now we just get to slam Goliath Paladin. That's going to be really difficult for them to come back from, since they no longer have access to initiative creatures themselves. Might as well attack. They don't have haste. Crypt Rats with 3 mana available, 6 Toto. We're going to forge on the Goliath Paladin here. So it's just too big for the Crypt Rats to kill. Yeah, that makes sense. And then they can activate Crypt Rats, kill the other 2 creatures. They don't take any damage besides the damage from the Crypt Rats themselves. I don't really see any point in ephemerating anything here, but now since they've spent those resources, we can play the Vampire Sovereign and hold up Ephemerate. I don't think I'm actually going to ephemerate anything unless they play a removal spell. Not a sacrifice spell, a targeted removal spell. In that case, I will ephemerate something. Because we're just so far ahead now, there's no real reason for us to... Oh, okay, now that you're playing Throne of the Black Rose, we could get value from ephemerating something. Then again, if I ephemerate something, I don't get to attack with the Vampire Sovereign. If I attack with Vampire Sovereign, I become the Monarch. Just hold the Ephemerate. All these resources, we'll just hold on to them all. And they scoop. This is fine. Not great. Hey, the Bajo Giro Pigo. Hello. I'm doing all right. Fine and dandy, you might say. Hope you're doing well. Definitely happy to be back again streaming. Vintage Showcase Prestige. If you see anybody with one of these gold bordered avatars with a date stamp or a year stamp on them, realize that they are a talented player. Just from that, you will know. Because you have to have done pretty well at a prestigious tournament in order to get an avatar like that. Well then, Cooper, where's yours? Right here. Deep dish. Ooh, Thraven Inspector. Ooh, Planes. So we're playing against familiars. I do not know how this one is going to go. Should be interesting. We have the Bajuka Bog as well. Could Core Skyfisher return the Companion? Play the Basilica. Get some flyers on board. Start attacking in the air. Oh, that is tricky, but if you're a fan of Demir, there is an amazing option available to you in Demir Terror, one of the better decks in the format. Should feel kind of similar. Hey, thanks for the follow, friend. Yeah, we both have incredible value engines, but theirs is probably better. I don't think we have discard. Should just be F6 here. I don't want to unmake the Mole Drifter so they're not able to draw another 2 cards on their turn. Another Basilica. Yeah, I mean, the familiar is making it a lot easier for them to be casting their spells, taking a mana off of basically every blue spell. But Ephemerate Mole Drifter is one hell of a combo. All right, let's see if they play actual counterspell or if they're holding up Prohibit. Oh, nice. Resolves. They have Ghostly Flicker. Do we want to Bajuka Bog that? I think maybe we just go. We have the Basilica, so we can return the Bajuka Bog later. Yeah, let's just get rid of that Flicker for now. I'm just actually running I'm MVP, their list. I could see Snuff out here, but we don't run that many swamps. So I think that too often we would just not have access to the free cast. I think there's actually only 3 swamps in the deck. I mean, we are running various fetches to be able to pull them out of the deck, but yeah, too risky, I think. I can have 6 here. I'm tapped out. Archaeomancer gets back the Preordain. I mean, considering they could have gotten back a Ghostly Flicker, definitely good timing on that Bajuka Bog. Well, it's looking okay. Should be able to resolve a Goliath Paladin here. Okay, that clears the skies for our next attack. And we get to hold up Crack Clue. And for all the opponent knows, we could have anything. We could have Ephemerate, we could have Cast Down, any number of things we could be holding up here. All right, opponent is deciding what they want to take with their Seagate Oracle, their Sleight of Hand on a creature. Pretty good when Seagate Oracle only costs the 1 mana. Here's a Preordain. And another Okeomancer, gaining more life. And returning a Preordain to their hand. They got Plains. Okay, no, Island. Giving them some more mana. Preordain again, gain another life. And 2 top. Another Sunscape Familiar. And back to us. Clear Skies. So let's get it in for some damage. After cracking our clue. Okay. And they're tapped out here. Do we actually have lethal? If we go Forge Trap? Attack with that. They can just block it with God Pharaoh's Faithful. I mean, this is 4, 5, 6, 9 damage. Put him to 2. And trap. Okay. Managed to get there game 1. Very nice, very nice. So what are we going to do against this opponent? We could bring in Chainer's Edict. Could bring in Relic. We take out Suffocating Fumes for sure. Yeah, you and me both. Dawnbringer Cleric's okay. We don't need Omen of the Dead. Well, I heard that the next card that they were going to be downshifting, downgrading in rarity to common, it's going to be Eidolon of the Great Revel. So maybe we'll get Eidolon of Rhetoric at the same time. Yeah, sure, why not? Could you imagine? Yeah, no kidding. I mean, like, they didn't already break Pauper enough. I really feel like Goliath Paladin is one of our big ways to win this game. Same with Vampire Sovereign. I like the Dawnbringer Clerics. Tough for this last cut. This last cut's really difficult. Yeah, gotta be something. I didn't have a lot of time left. Okay, obviously we're throwing this one away. Not great, but keepable. Okay. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Kenny, exactly. So if they target something with their Archaeomancer, we can target it in response. Oh man, could you imagine if we got one of those Dawnbringer clerics in time to kill the Modern Age here? I mean, even the flip side is an enchantment, so that's a pretty perfect way to take care of that. I should have brought in more Dawnbringers now that I'm thinking about it. Should play all four. They might actually be better than the relics, since we're able to get rid of the Modern Age with it. Fine, Chainer's Edict. Chainer's Edict's pretty nice against these types of decks because it doesn't matter if they ephemerate something or Ghostly Flicker, the Chainer's Edict effect will still be on the stack and still be active. All right, so here comes our Chaomancer to return what? Snap or Prohibit? They got a Prohibit, so we know they have Prohibit in hand, chat. Let's try and keep that in mind. Nothing feels better than responding to Snap. No, you are not untapping, sir. Yeah, I've done that plenty of times in what's its Black Sack. Do that quite a bit with Black Sack. So we've got 4 mana available. We could cast down Chainer's Edict. I would like to get this Archaeomancer off the board. If we get the Vector Glider off the board, we can start attacking with Overseer. Let's see what they sacrifice to Chainer's Edict. Get some of these small spells out of our hand while they're tapped out. So they get rid of the Seagate Oracle. Right, let's get rid of the Archaeomancer now. Preordain both to the bottom. They were going to tap out here, but they thought better of it, deciding to hold up, maybe Prohibit. If we unmake the Vector Glider, that gets through Prohibit with 3 mana up. All right, they're going to play another Modern Age, holding up only 1 mana. This is turn 5, though. They could still have another land drop, and they do. Okay, so they do still have Prohibit up. So they could, for example, counter the Chainer's Edict. I'm going to Storefront. I'm going to unmake the Vector Glider and attack for 3. We do have the option to try to ephemerate the Inspiring Overseer end of their turn to try and bait out the Prohibit. But if they have a snap, that's pretty bad. All right, so they're going to evoke the Muldrifter and then probably ephemerate it. Yes, indeed. Casual 4 mana, draw 4. We have to get rid of that Muldrifter, though. Try and draw some cards. See if they counter this. Because then we could just Chainer's Edict the Muldrifter. All right, looks like we're going to get the Prohibit out of their hand, unless this is a snap. Okay. We get the Prohibit. That's what I was looking for. Hold on, how much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Not even close. We are basically empty-handed here, where the opponent has 5 cards going up to 6. What does that matter, stream team? Chaomancer. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, could have tapped differently, you're right. So you're gonna get the Prohibit back. Do you want to unmake something in response? I mean, they can't really deal with the unmake with the Prohibit next right now anyway. Mortuary Mire, put back the Muldrifter. Oh yeah, the full art unmake is gorgeous. Find Ephemerate, okay. And a Dawnbringer Cleric, let's go. So we can destroy this. But they do have the counter magic for that currently. I used to own full art unmakes, but I don't anymore. I gave them away. Unmake isn't a bait. They cannot counter unmake with prohibit at the moment. I could bait with ephemerate. That'll have to do. One, two, three, four, five, six. One mana off of Chainer's Edict. This looks like a Mole Drifter. Full cost. And a Chantry, probably to return Mortuary Mire. Yes, indeed. And they use the Prohibit. Ooh, we get Relic of Progenitus. It's not the worst. That's something that they need to counter. Okay, well, let's just get rid of your graveyard, I guess. Draw a card. Oh, well, now that gets rid of our own Chainer's Edicts. And the card we drew was not very good. I don't really want to put the Mole Drifter back into the graveyard, but then, now they have access to. Oh, no. And then Ghostly Flickers, like, draw 4 cards. They have 7 cards in hand and the better board currently. Woof. When things go wrong, they go really wrong. It's difficult though, right? Because I don't want them to be able to bring back their Archaeomancer or something. What was actually in the graveyard? Because some things were exiled before. Looks like they did still have the Archaeomancer in there. Okay. We play the Goliath Paladin. They get to attack with double Mole Drifter, take the initiative from us. And then we're just going to be fighting back and forth for the initiative. But I mean, what else can I do, right? Oh, remove soul. Counter target creature spell. Just try and catch up on clock a little bit here, but I think we are going to be going to a game 3. This is starting to look absolutely hopeless with the opponent having 7 cards in hand. I would say they've turned the corner on this. Oh, they're snapping their own Bull Drifter just to replay it. Draw even more cards. Heck, they're going to deck out. We're going to win because they're going to draw too many cards. See, look at that. They only have 21 cards left in their library, and they're still going. And we draw planes. Nice. This hopeless feeling reminds me of the old Pauper deck with Temporal Fissure and Cloud of Faeries, where you just get put in this position where, like, it's going to take a while for the opponent to win, but it's absolutely impossible to beat them. Of course, we at least still have some resources on the board. Against Temporal Fissure decks, you didn't have anything. Your hand would be full, but you would have no lands in play, no permanents in play. They just return them all. And then beat you down with Mull Drifters and Cloud of Fairies. Huh, why is my time ticking down? I said I passed priority. Oh, this is some bullshit. It's not even letting me concede. Some sort of crash. Oh, man. All right, give me a moment, friends. I'm going to try and restart Modo. Okay, I think we should be back online here. Sorry, everybody. Looks like my internet died for a minute there. What about Arms of Adar from Mull Drifter? I think that might be going too far. All right. Now we're gonna have to play fast here because my timer was still ticking down while I was reconnecting to the internet. So if we're gonna get that trophy, it's not gonna be easy. Hoping they're gonna play the enchantment here. Awesome. Let's go. Oh, amazing. They even missed their land drop. Get a Basilica. It's attacking for one. We've made a land drop pass the turn. We have a chance here to win this game. They keep missing land drops. I think we're probably Ephemerate on their turn here. Try and get them to respond, and if not, we'll just draw a bunch of cards. We only got 4 minutes. Okay, perfect. That's what we were looking for. Get them to tap out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I play the land, then I have access to Ephemerate as well. And if they don't have land drop here, I think that's it. They might just be typing a message. Or maybe my internet crapped out again. It's going to be an interesting one to try and string this edit together. Take a land out of the deck. Pass back. Seagate Oracle, sure. Cast it down. And attack for lethal. Okay, well that was cool. Opponent, like just missed land drops, and we had the Dawnbringer Cleric to get rid of the Modern Age, which both got rid of fixing for their hand, so they weren't able to dig deeper to find those lands, and it also got rid of a potential creature, which would have been a really good blocker against our creatures. So like Dawnbringer Cleric versus Azorius Familiars seems like a really, really good card. Slow hand. Very slow to start here. We see basic mountain. We're in a lot of trouble. Nope. Not Tron, Kenny. Not yet. Someone's got to pay me big bucks to play that deck. We got a lot of lands here. Let's play the storefront and take a land out of the deck. Let's go grab a swamp. Yeah, I have currently never played a Tron deck. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mention it every once in a while. People, pretty much every time someone asks about Tron. Are you going to play Tron someday? No. Oh, that's a nice looking Scoured Barrens. And it looks like it is the mirror match. So we should have quite a bit of time to take advantage of some of these cards. There's a Spirited Companion we could play right now, but that would take us away from playing Overseer next turn. I want to get that Overseer down, so let's play Scoured Barrens for now and pass the turn back. I guess with this play line, I should have got the planes anyways, even though we're set for white mana, just in case we had drawn Thraben Inspector. But yeah, if you are interested in watching some content involving the various Tron decks and Pauper, let me recommend Kalikaz, aka Satan Raken. Kalikaz puts out quite a bit of content on YouTube, and yeah, definitely check it out. He plays a lot of actually different decks from what I play. You'd be looking at, Tron, you'd be looking at Familiars, you'd be looking at Sultai Poison, which is a deck I intend on picking up. But that is one of the cool things that I like about Kalikaz's channel is that you're going to get different Magic decks than you would from looking at mine. Exactly, exactly, blind. Thinking maybe like looking back with hindsight, I'm thinking probably Spirited Companion. Of course, Skyfisher might have been nice, but they do have the 2 mana open here, so they could have like cast down my Spirited Companion with, of course, Skyfisher on the stack, and that would have been a pain. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I really like having more Pauper content out there. More people are exposed to it, and they get to see different decks that way. I just want more people to play this format, Yeah, I'm pretty happy anytime we beat a Familiars deck. Now we're just going to take 3 damage. Ooh, Crossroads. Okay, so it is not a mirror match. I'm just leaving 3 mana open. We're definitely going to have to make some plays here. I hate using Cast Down on a Thraben Inspector, though. Oh, geez, we're going to be discarding the hand size. Ridiculous. Return the plane so we can, like, bluff a snuff out. Oh, shit. I was absolutely supposed to attack there. I'm not paying enough attention. Streaming. Makes magic harder. For the game that isn't already difficult enough. I think Burn is another one that belongs on that list, Blind. A lot of people have a lot of bad things to say about Burn players. Yep. Core Sky Fisher, return Thraben Inspector. But do they replay the Thraben Inspector or do they hold to crack the clue? They hold to crack the clue. We could play a Vampire Sovereign, but it kind of looks like they're holding up removal. If we try and cast this down and they have Ephemerate, total blowout. Omen of the Dead, huh? If we play Basilica, we got to discard a hand size again. Let's play Plains. Looks like we're holding up an Ephemerate this way. Yeah, that 2 mana could be so many things. You know, like they have the clue to crack. This would have been a nice time to hold up, cast down, get that Core Skyfisher off the table. Fortunately, we are ahead on clock somehow. That might actually be like a route to victory here. We can try and get these Vampire Sovereigns down, start getting some attacks through in the air. And once again, they have the 2 mana up and a clue token, so they could have anything. But playing a Vampire Sovereign doesn't feel as bad now that we have Omen of the Dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold up Omen of the Dead this way. Mirror matches are really difficult and really interesting. Oh, wow. Doesn't even crack the clue. Just held up the 2 mana, did nothing. Must really want to hold up Ephemerate. Okay, there's Goliath Paladin. Okay, so initiative is in play. We find another land. Gonna get a swamp here. We got a lot of spells that use black mana. Another Vampire Sovereign. And we have Cast Down available, as well as 2 blockers. Okay, so now we can cast something down. Kind of want to just get rid of that Goliath Paladin. So they're not able to ephemerate it. They no longer have the amazing vigilance attacker. Seemed like a good opportunity there. Yep, we'll be able to get that back with Omen of the Dead. But our blocks here are quite poor. Yeah, we'll just take all the damage here. I guess we could trade. Now they get to forge the Skyfisher, which seems pretty good. I should just be F6, honestly. Where we are trying to potentially time the opponent out. Definitely not be wasting time on my clock. Now they got a wicked board here. Bajuka Bog. Okay. And we don't have any removal, so we can't really attack. Which means they get to hold on to the initiative. Bajuka Bog now. All of our lands are coming to play tap lands anyway. Pass the turn back. We have, of course, Skyfisher along with Omen of the Dead. So, I mean, that is quite a bit of advantage. It's going to be difficult for them to attack in, and we're just going to be able to continuously bring our creatures back because we have the core Skyfishers in hand. So maybe if we can do enough with these Vampire Sovereigns. Oh, no, they got Vampire Sovereign of their own. Flipping our life totals. Now they have more life. This game is definitely slipping away. Dawnbringer Cleric. Get rid of one of the... are they going to gain life? Or are they going to get rid of one of our creatures in the graveyard? We got the Omen of the Dead down. Oh, of course. They're going to destroy the Omen of the Dead. That makes way more sense. And now we don't have Omen of the Dead combo anymore. And Bajuka Bog. They got it all. Well played. All right, what's next, opponent? I will totally double block that core Skyfisher. Spirited Companion. We could, like, core Skyfisher the Vampire Sovereigns to try and drain them out that way. It seems like a losing game, though. Let's draw a card, see what we find. Find a Dawnbringer Cleric. Oh, they don't have any enchantments. I guess they have the Spirited Companion. We could destroy that. Or we could gain life. Doesn't seem very good. So 1, 2, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we don't have enough mana to core Skyfisher into Vampire Sovereign. I gotta make plays here. I gotta pass the clock back. I guess I could draw cards, like return the companion, replay it, and try and find my own Goliath. Ephemerate, okay, cool. Return a tapped swamp. So we have Ephemerate for Vampire Sovereign. That's interesting. Another core Skyfisher. Returns their Vampire Sovereign so they can replay it. And they have 2 mana up, so casting an Ephemerate here is a risky proposition. They could have cast down as a response. But again, they choose not to attack. Find another Vampire Sovereign. We'll play another core Skyfisher, returning Vampire Sovereign here. So we can replay it next turn. How many blockers do they have? One, two, three, four. We have one, two, three, four attackers. That's not going to work out well. So they just get to go to the throne room. Oh, they only get one creature, though. The only creature they hit was Dawnbringer Cleric. So that could have been a lot worse. They could have revealed like a Vampire Sovereign or something. Do we want to ephemerate Spirited Companion? I mean, that seems pretty medium. When we could be ephemerating Vampire Sovereigns. Find an Overseer. Draw a card, see if we can find the Goliath. We finally find the Goliath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play the Goliath. And I guess we'll forge and pump up one of our vampires. Spirited Companion from the opponent, sure thing. Yeah, that's okay. Oh wow, no combat from the opponent. Love to see it. No point in doing anything right now. We have the initiative. I'm doing well. Grim, how you doing? Play the Vampire Sovereign. Getting the lead as far as life totals are concerned again. Yeah, keep the land in hand is definitely a better option. All right, so they're going to unmake a creature. Let's ephemerate it. And then in response, they're going to ephemerate their own vampire. And then ephemerate their own vampire again. Oh, wow. Are we going to die to vampire triggers now? What a game. Oh, we're empty-handed, so F6. Yeah, it definitely would have been nice to have something to bluff here. Maybe they would not have gone in on those ephemerates. Okay, good targeting with the ephemerate here, targeting the same vampire, so this one does not have summoning sickness. Can I survive and attack all? They're taking their time on deciding how to attack, which benefits me. Oh wow, they're only attacking with one. Omen of the Dead to get their core Skyfisher back. And then they can core Skyfisher, a Vampire Sovereign, replay it, and we go to 2. Yeah, tough choice here. I'm kind of leaning towards the throne room. A lot of choices. I guess we get Inspiring Overseer, gain a life, draw card. Find another Paladin. Okay, they're using Omen of the Dead to scry. This is going to be one hell of a match. Game 1, and we've already, the opponents used more than half their clock. We haven't quite hit halfway yet. And that's game. So how many more cards does Arms of Adar actually get? It only gets one more. It only gets Thraben Inspector. It doesn't really seem that great. We could bring in a single Relic. Cleric is okay. Probably better than Relic. Definitely want that Chainer's Edict. I mean, Suffocating Fumes isn't the worst either, honestly. It gets rid of Overseer, it gets rid of Spirited Companion, both of which are a 4 of. I like Chainer's Edict versus Ephemerate decks, but you're probably right. We probably should have just went with like as is, no changes. Oh, this is so slow. I guess that's fine though. Yeah, fast start from the opponent didn't really matter last game. All right, I'm going to put down this Inspiring Overseer, allow us to start attacking over the opponent's head. But dog go into Thraben Inspector might have been nice. Oh, yeah, that... Okay. Find a Vampire Sovereign. Let's play the doggo, see what we draw. Find another Unmake. Play the land and the Thraben Inspector, pass back. Opponent has less than 10 minutes on their clock. I think that if we can win this game, we win the match. Oh, wow, that's an interesting attack. They probably have, what's it? Suffocating Fumes here. I bet they have Suffocating Fumes here. So we'll just trade. That's what makes the most sense with this attack. So now you can trade Suffocating Fumes for my Companion, or you can trade Companion for Companion. Of course, Skyfisher returns Thraben Inspector. They replay Thraben Inspector. Oh, wow. No replay. That's interesting. Why wouldn't they just replay Thraben Inspector? Now, I would have liked a land here, for sure. Would have liked a land. We could go Core Skyfisher, return land, then unmake their Core Skyfisher. I mean, Arms of Adar is only opponent's creatures anyways, so it wouldn't have hit their own Thraben Inspector regardless. Hey, we can't remember all the cards all the time. I sure can't. Oh my god, the Choking Sands, brutal. Absolutely brutal. That's destructive. And we miss on land again. Oh shit. I need to crack this clue and find a land. We miss. Opponent has land destruction, chat. Land destruction is really good against Karoo lands. We can't even unmake that Vampire Sovereign, and they have mana up to Ephemerate it. We're fucked. Thought we were going to be able to make it. I need land. Shit. I guess we'll die. I'm going to discard a Vampire Sovereign. Hey, Griffin. Good timing here. We're about to die to land destruction. Finally hit one. I want to keep cast down up, but you like, oh man. Whoa, brutal. Get wrecked, son. Wow, we're done. Put a stop on upkeep here and we'll cast down one of their vampires. So at least if they're ephemerating it on their turn. So we won't take the extra damage from the combat step. All right, last chance. Opponent's internet craps out. Like our internet crapped out last match. Last opportunity to try and win. Was this unmake? Yeah. No, cast down. Cast down on course Skyfisher. No blocks. Go to 3. We die to the Ephemerate on their turn. No, don't die to the Ephemerate if we have a Scoured Barrens. I guess we can unmake whatever they Ephemerate, but then we just die from combat anyways. GG. Oh man, that's brutal. But choking sands, friends. Every once in a while, land destruction. Yeah, keep this. And we can get rid of that upkeep stop. Plays island and passes. Do I want to play the Scoured Barrens or Plains Thraben Inspector? I'm thinking probably Plains Thraben Inspector. Would like to get this Scoured Barrens out though, so we have access to Chainer's Edict sooner rather than later. Double island, so it could be Faeries, or it could be Terror. Because they're basic islands, not snow covered, I would guess not Faeries. I think I actually want to play the Basilica this turn. So we have access to Chainer's Edict or Unmake next turn. Okay, the Snap. Does Terror play Snap? Let me just take a quick look here. Yeah, I'm thinking Snap for Spell Stutter. Where's Demure Terror? Yeah, no snaps here. We just play the Spirited Companion instead. We just play Plains, hold up, crack, clue. All right. No value from your Spell Stutter Sprite, but you can still play it if you want a ninja this turn. And then we'll be able to unmake or Chainer's Edict your ninja. Yeah, I'm used to seeing Faeries play snow-covered lands. But I guess you don't have to. How about a Suffocating Fumes off the top deck? One Suffocating Fumes, if you please. Right color, wrong card. How many ninjas you playing? One ninja. Then they get to replay Miscreant, draw another card. Or they can just play land here, hold up Spell Stutter. Oh wow, of one mind, even more draw. They do find their third land. Okay, come on, one more time. Suffocating Fumes off the top. Let's go. Suffocating Fumes, if you please. One time. No. We have blockers for the Moon Circuit Hacker. I don't really feel like casting that down. I guess we could go for Overseer. I'm going to want to keep my blockers back here for that ninja. If I attacked in with Spirited Companion, for example, they could snap the Thraben Inspector and still get in. So they're returning the Spell Starter Sprite to hand. So they're going to have counter magic available up to a 3-drop, which would counter Suffocating Fumes. But we have a cast down, so if we draw Suffocating Fumes, we could still get them. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, here's a snap on the Overseer. The tempo, it's significant. Still no Suffocating Fumes. Womp, 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 womp. I think we play Plains. And then we can unmake, and if they try to Spell Stutter Sprite the unmake, we have Cast Down. Or we could just Inspiring Overseer And if they try to spell stutter that, we have cast down. We both got 7 cards in hand, quite a bit of land. Opponent has the advantage currently with their board, but I think our cards are generally better. It's just, are we going to be able to live long enough to use them all? Hopefully you don't have 2 of those. Oh no. Oh, and Muta. Okay. One more time. Suffocating fumes. Please. No. Deck is just not having it. No suffocating fumes. Poor Vu. Well, this would have been a great bait if we had it. That's okay. So yeah, obviously we're just falling way behind at this point. We were looking for the fumes and we just couldn't find it. Oh, no ninja. That means they're just holding up all counter magic. Well, you can't spell stutter that, but if you got a counter spell, seems like a good target. Is this just 4? Do you have another ninja? They got deep dish. And they return miscreant instead of spell stutter spray, which is surprising. Maybe they have another spell stutter sprite in hand, or they're just going for ninja here. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Suffocating fumes isn't going to wipe the board anymore. We don't have Arms of Adar in the main, so this game is well and truly done. Done like dinner. I guess maybe we could get another Vampire Sovereign, maybe stay in that way. So bring in Arms of Adar. I think that's all we bring in. Chainer's Edict is okay. We could bring that in. It's not great, though. Not a huge fan of Goliath Paladin in this matchup. Dawnbringer Cleric does block ninjas. It's just so easy for them to take the initiative. They have so many creatures, their combat tricks and stuff. I just like don't feel like we get to keep the initiative if we put it into play. We have turn 2 Chainer's Edict. I'm going to keep this. Not a huge fan. So I like turn 2 Chainer's Edict on the play. It means that they're not really going to be able to ninja. Not very easily, anyway. Now, if they had just left that land untapped, then they could have played the intruder end of turn. That would have allowed them to ninja. All right, we're gonna go for a storefront here, so I can hold up the cast down. I don't want to throw the Thraben Inspector into a spell stutter sprite and then give them the opportunity to do ninja stuff. Cast down the spell stutter sprite. They do not have spell pierce. Awesome. Now let's play a Basilica, Return of Plains, and pass back. We get to play, hopefully, Vampire Sovereign next turn. Fingers crossed they don't have Counterspell. Oh, wow. They're just hard casting Ninja the Deep Hours. That's a play. We get Ephemerate. Cool. That blocks a Ninja. I guess they could still have Muta, so maybe it's worth it to double block if they attack with it. As well as Brine Barrow Intruder. So yeah, it looks like a double block if they do attack. Wow. Kind of wanted to keep Ephemerate to Ephemerate that. We're tapped out here, but is what it is. I guess we could just throw the Thraben Inspector in front, and then we have the Ephemerate on the Vampire for later. Raven Inspector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just counting for the Chainer's Edict. Another Fairy Miscreant. Gets to draw them a card. And here comes combat. Just the ninja coming in. I would like to draw a card. Find a companion. I'm worried about what all they could have in hand here. Just going to chump block and then crack the clue. Bajuka Bog. Ugh. Okay, all lands all day. Pass with Ephemerate up, I guess. All the doggos. Forever doggos. Okay, so they're throwing down a Spell Stutter Sprite on this companion. Alright. Nothing we can do about that, really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're about to lose our vampire, I would say. Let's see what kind of response they have to the block. Pretty good response. And they're going to... Oh no, they're going to switch out... I thought they were going to switch out the Spell Stutter Sprite. I guess they still have the opportunity to. Even if we Ephemerate right now, they can still switch this one out at like instant speed. So we just got to let them do their thing and hope they don't bounce the Spell Stutter, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, okay, they have Snap for their Spell Stutter Sprite. Good deck is good. Blue Fairies. I was calling for the banning of Spell Stutter Sprite years ago, but there's just so many better cards now. It seems kind of like, Okay, I guess this is just here. Finally, suffocating fumes. Might be able to do something cool with suffocating fumes if they don't have a counterspell. We could get some blocks going and then fumes. Could also respond to this miscreant trigger, so they draw no cards. Come on, work. Work, damn you, work. It's my only shot. Is this suffocating fumes to work? Okay. Now, if they're playing that, backing up on the spell stutter sprite. Oh, wow. Yep. But no card draw, and those ninjas are very vulnerable. I'd say we're back in the game. Yeah, they're empty handed, so let's draw something good. One time. Now this is why wouldn't they have attacked with the spell stutter sprite and kept the ninja in hand? Because now I'm just gonna take the 1 damage. Dak, no. I need spells. I know you have them. It's some bullshit. We're going to lose our Thraben Inspector here because we got to block the deep dish. They're going to draw an extra card. At least we'll be able to take one of the ninjas down, I hope. Unless they have Mutagenic or Brine Barrow. All right, so they only draw the 1 card. Relic of Progenitus, sure. Spell. Not the place. Not the place for suffocating fumes. I think we need to cycle this. We were begging for it earlier, and we get another fucking land. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Ah, whatever. It's Magic, man. We had an opportunity to get back into this game, but Variance was just not with us today. Oh yeah, of course, Skyfisher with all lands. Fantastic. I'm going to bounce the Scoured Barrens to gain a life later. The snap on the core Skyfisher. Yeah, that seems good. Attack for 4, draw 2. I think that probably ends it. Ninja's too good. Arms of Adar. Arms of Adar. Come on, Arms of Adar. I wish I was playing Pestilence now. Counterspell on my cast down. Get to kill one of their ninjas. They do get 2 ninja triggers, but one of them is a draw discard. Means they'll get to draw a spell, discard a land. They have 4 cards in hand. We have 4 cards in hand, but our hand is all lands. There's a Spell Stutter Sprite. Seems about right. They're going to be able to turn that into another deep dish if they have any more deep dishes left. I think they have one more. No, it's MC Hacker. Okay, so they're turning the old hacker into a new hacker, which lets them replace the Spell Stutter Sprite with a new hacker, allowing them to draw 2 cards, no discards. Deep Dish Pizza. It's just so full. Just all the value. And we don't have any more Suffocating Fumes, which would be good on this board. But we do still have Arms of Adar to draw to. I imagine they have another counterspell in hand, though. They've only, I think, cast 1 counterspell. Yeah, they've only cast 1 counterspell. Incoming counterspell. I think this is death. I mean, it kind of feels like we lost the game a long time ago, but we were fighting. We were trying our best to claw our way back into this. But, you know, they considering they can basically counter whatever we try and do. Brine Barrow, which means that they get to keep their ninja here. This is just a bounce kind of block. And then they trade their old hacker for a new hacker, which lets them trade their sprite for the other hacker. Draw 2 fresh cards, and still have a whole bunch of mana available for counter magic, including the Spellstutter Sprite that we know about, but they could probably have another counterspell in hand. Probably do. The old 2-0 into 0-2. And land on top. All right, GG. Oops. This one. All right, we got the play. Let's do it. Sure. All right, is this going to be the match where we see Basic Mountain? Going to play the Barons first instead of the Storefront. Only got 3 lands currently. We want to draw some more at the moment, so let's leave some lands in the deck. Ash Barons. Okay. So their next play is going to be a Karoo land, so that leads me to believe we're playing against familiars. Yes, Adelar Cubs, this is my week of vacation, which is why I started early today. There should actually be another hour on top of my live time because my internet crapped out on me. So I had to restart the stream. Forest. Forest? Interesting. Okay. So this is not what I thought it was at all. And it's starting to look like Bogles. Yeah, this is Bogles. So we're looking for the cleric. We want a cleric off the top. One cleric, please. One of your finest clerics, if you don't mind, deck. Cleric would be a blowout here. Destroy the sprawl, destroy the abundant growth. Well, it looks like opponent is just holding priority on our upkeep here. We're just going to have to practice patience while we wait for the opponent to allow us to draw a card. If only, Kenny, if only. Knight's kind of like a cleric, right? No, deck. No, it isn't. I guess we'll go get a swamp. And I can draw some cards if I like. I don't think there's much reason to do it now. I guess we could find Thraben Inspector, which would be a reason to do it now. Okay. I mean, sometimes. I asked it for a Thraben Inspector, it gave it to me, but the turn, earlier I asked for a Cleric, or I guess on draw step for that same turn. I asked for a Cleric, and it's like, nah. Oh, I guess it could be. Although, Cave of Temptation's interesting. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty confuzzled as to what's going on. Abundant growth usually means Bogles. Yeah, that makes sense, Adelar Cubs. There it is. And do they have the cartouche to go with it? Yeah, they do. Playing around Chainer's Edict most expertly. Cast down. Well, we had 2 draws to try and find cast down. We do not find it. 4 mana. Hottest new tech right now. The red decks have 2 copies of draw 2 cards. They have Ren's Resolve along with whatever the other one was called. And then they also have Experimental Synthesizer. So red decks are just drawing all the cards. I think digging probably is our best choice. We don't have much else to do. I want to keep that other Ephemerate though, just in case we do find a cleric. All right, so what does the opponent have here? 4 cards in hand, plenty of mana, whatever color they wish. Commune with spirits is how they're deciding to start. Now, there are some things to be said nowadays about playing blue in your Bogles deck with the new card with backup. We saw it just last match. Woof, ethereal armor. We're so dead. And a rancor. Yeah, I don't think there's much we can do at this point. I guess, yeah, no, we could still kill this somehow and then kill this. So we've got one more turn to try and find it. So we are going to have to ephemerate the companion again. Just to get maximum draws to kill this so we can kill this. No unmake, no cast down, no suffocating fumes. We have 5 mana, so we even if we companion, we don't have enough mana to do the other things. Well, I guess we could have. I guess we could have. Damn that stream delay. Hey, it's not your fault. It's funny because normally cast down would be of no value at all, but like in that case, it's exactly the card we were looking for versus Bogles. Yep, 6 toughness. Might have bought us another turn, and that might have been what we needed. All right, let's see what we can do here. Well, good hand, but no lands. Let's mull. Mm, not great. Opponent's on 7 here. Starts with Forest into Slippery Bogle. No fear about playing their creatures early this time, since I don't have a Edict. They're just looking to get that Bogle nice and fat so that the turn 3 Suffocating Fumes can't do anything. Even if we draw Edict here, we don't have the ability to cast it yet. But that is something I will be setting up here with the Basilica. I was thinking about the attack. I'm just wondering, like, is there any value in it? We're not racing. So in the, like event that by chance the opponent doesn't have any auras to put on the Bogle this turn, holding the Thraben Inspector back does prevent 1 damage. Okay, this is about the worst it could be, but we could still potentially draw Chainer's Edict off the top. Another Suffocating Fumes. Thanks, deck. Creature has first strike, so we can't really block it. Yeah, I should have just attacked there, but I don't think it's going to matter. 1 damage, 2 damage. Slippery Boy here is just going to take it all. Need that Edict off the top. Come on, Edict, one last chance. Edict off the top. We don't. I guess we can play Plains here and still have the black mana for an Edict. Last shot. Edict. Well, we can maybe throw some creatures in front. And that's it. Ah, unfortunate. The 2-0 into 0-3. Brutal. Well, let's pay the doubters.